What's up everyone? So as you can see by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about steroids, why I decided to do them, and whether I think it was worth it, do I regret it or not, and that kind of thing. Because as a lot of you know, I've experienced with them in the past, and I think it's a fascinating topic, and I want to share my information on it. Now, if you have been subscribed to me in the past, you know that I used to make videos about steroids, but I ended up taking those down because even though most of the response was positive, I still had quite a few people message me, and they were probably mostly kids, but there were people who didn't really have a strong sense of character, who didn't really have a purpose in life, and they were very easily swayed. And they would come to me with asking questions like, what should I cycle? How should I take it? What should I take? The fact that they're coming to someone on YouTube who's had experience with them before, rather than just doing their own research off of trusted scientific papers, just taught me that one, they're too lazy to do their own research, and two, they probably aren't the smartest people around anyways. Now, I don't want to be the cause of people making bad life decisions, especially if these people are kids who aren't really mature and don't really know what they're doing yet. Another reason was because, as my social media grew, as my YouTube grew, as my Instagram grew, one of the things that I was looking forward to was being sponsored. And I thought this was going to decrease my chances of that happening. But now I realize that that's not true because I still receive sponsorship offers. And honestly, I don't really care that much about being sponsored. I'd rather have a channel that's talking about what I really feel like I should be talking about, stuff that's interesting, rather than just doing a cookie cutter channel just to get sponsored. Now, before I begin with this video, I just want to say a few things. I am not glorifying steroids. This is not a pro-steroid channel. I do not tell people what steroids to take, how they should do it, what they should do. So if you have those kinds of questions, please don't come to me and just save your time. And also, just to those who are wondering, my physique is achievable naturally. So now that I have those out of the way, let's begin. I started out working out when I was 19, and I started out with my best friend. And just a little background on us, we were two very competitive people. When it came to school, when it came to sports, when it came to games, everything that we used to do, we used to be very competitive. And, that's normal, that's how most kids are, but I think we were a little bit more than most kids. Anyways, so we started the gym, and, to my surprise, my friend just blew up. I'm talking, he got really big, he got really strong, and he was doing it really fast. But our training programs were the same, our diet was almost identical, so it made no sense to me why he was getting so much bigger and stronger than me, way faster than me. And just to paint the picture for you guys, this guy deadlifted 405 pounds in his second week of working out. So imagine, first week you come into the gym, you just learn what a deadlift is, you're deadlifting the bar, trying to get the form down, and then the next week you go to the gym and you max out and pull 405. Like, I'm talking crazy genetics. And on top of that, he had really good insertions, so his physique was really good as well. He wasn't just strong. Now, this was the first time in my life that no matter how hard I trained, how hard I worked, how good my diet was, there was just no way I was going to beat him. And it was a bitter pill to swallow, but I had to do it. And I remember one day in particular that it was just, everything just became very clear to me. There was no way I could compete against this guy. He was just way better than me. And I remember I went home that day, I laid in my bed, and I cried. Tears came out of my eyes. Now, I'm not a guy that cries very often. I've cried very few times in my life. But this is just to paint the picture of how bitter this was for me. And it wasn't this alone that pushed me to take them, but it was the whole idea of, before I used to think steroids were unfair, they were cheating, but then I thought, what really is fair? Is it fair that this guy gets to have way better genetics than me, and even though I'm working just as hard as him, he's getting way more results than me? That's not fair either. Now, that was one reason. Another reason was, like a lot of people, when I started working out, I went to the internet for advice. I didn't know what to do, and I started looking up at online fitness personalities for motivation. Everyone that I looked up to was being accused of steroid use by, hateful trolls on the internet who were calling out fake natties. And to some point, these people who call out fake natties, are doing good, they are spreading awareness, but to another point, they are doing a disservice as well, because they were calling out actual natties, and back then, I didn't know any better, but now that I look at it, they were part of the reasons why I hopped on, because they just kind of cut all hope for me. I thought that if I want to get a good physique, I have to take steroids. There's no other way around it, which is just simply not true. There's tons of great physiques out there that have been achieved completely naturally. And now that I have more lifting experience under my belt, now that I've met more people, I realize this, but back then I didn't. Now another reason is this whole aesthetic lifestyle, the lifting, the good physique and everything was so glorified back then, and today it still is. And while that holds true to some points because it does better your life, it doesn't do it to the extent that I thought. Because I thought that if you get a good physique, all your problems are going to be gone, you're going to be instantly successful, everyone's going to love you, and your quality of life is just going to increase by like 200%. While it did increase, I didn't become successful. I still had to deal with problems, and my life wasn't all that much better. It was better, but not as good as I hoped it would have been. So the industry was kind of setting up a fake image of how I thought the lifestyle was going to be, and how it ended up being was kind of a disappointment. You see a lot of people with great physiques nowadays, but yet they're dead broke because all the money they get and all the time and energy that they get throughout the day, they spend it on their bodies, but they don't even focus on their career. And that's why a lot of people in the industry are forced to doing gay for pay and cam shows and stuff like that, because the only asset that they have is their body. And I guess that could be a trainer too, but a lot of them resort to that, which is really sad now that I look at it. But back then I didn't realize these things. I just thought that if you get a good physique, you're automatically going to become successful, which is not true whatsoever. Another reason was because I was not a naturally confident guy. Because honestly, I had nothing going for myself in the past. I didn't really put my time and effort into things. I didn't really take a lot of things seriously. I just kind of, went with the flow, drifted through life. No ambitions, no passions, nothing. And, because of that, I had nothing to be confident about. And I thought, if I at least get a physique, it's gonna kind of give me some substance, something to be proud about. But if you achieve this physique with steroids, then once you stop taking steroids, you're most likely going to lose the physique, and you're most likely going to lose the confidence, because now you are dependent on a drug. And I didn't realize this at the time. Now that's not to say that when you stop taking steroids, you're automatically going to lose everything that you gain, but in most cases you are. It's varied on the person, how much you take, how long you stay on for, what you do for your PCT and everything. But in most cases that I've seen, people end up being worse off than before they even started taking the steroids. Because, it's really hard to learn how to do things properly. And you may think you know how to do things properly by what you read in forums, on the internet, see on like YouTube videos and stuff. But believe me when I tell you this, you won't know 100% until you try it on yourself. And you have to be a guinea pig, basically. And that's something that not a lot of people want, which I don't blame them, but they don't realize this when they get into this kind of lifestyle, and they only realize it after. Now, that leads to the next question. It's, do I regret it, or was it worth it? I don't quite know how to answer this myself yet, because I'm not gonna lie, in some days I loved it. I love the pumps, I love the strength, I love what it did to my physique, and it just overall made me feel more alpha in a way. But in other days, I was just getting so sick of it. I was so annoyed at the side effects, all the shit I had to deal with, all the painful injections, and I was like, man, I don't want to have to do this shit anymore. I just want to go back to how it was before. So it really just depends on the day, kind of dependent on my mood. But in the grand scheme of things, let's say that, this social media thing works out for me, and I get to make a living off of it. Do I think it's worth it then? I think the answer would be yes. But if it doesn't work out, and I was just doing it to get a better physique that I could achieve naturally, then no, I genuinely don't think it was worth it, but I could use it as a learning experience. So that was today's video. If you wanted to know why I did it, those were the reasons. And I'm more open to doing these videos again, because I'm kind of looking at it in a different perspective now, and I'm going to try to increase my upload frequency as well, so I'm aiming for a video a week, but we'll see. Anyways, I hope you guys liked the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.